There we go.
Okay, I think the next thing we'll do, the next thing we'll do is start on some of the berries up here. So this is Hovine Red and a little pink in it. I don't do a whole lot of mixing there, but I want a bright red strawberry. So I just put a little bit of paint down, clean my brush. I waste a lot of paint. That's just a hit of red there, small hit of red. And I'm gonna let the water work it around for me. I want to leave the white neck, and so you just want to sort of put some clear water and leave it alone. Just put you some water in there, put you some red. See, I'm tempted to go back in there, but if I do, it'll be me blending and it'll show, so I'm going to leave that alone. And that's going to be dry enough. You do some bright color and some tip-tapping around. Okay. Clean your brush and just sort of dance around. Especially this first hit. This is a new brush. I don't like it. Oh yeah. See, I just sort of poke around and change colors. So, clean your water. This one I won't clean because I want this top cleaner. Oops. I want that to stay white up there. This will be the first layer on the strawberries, and we know it's going to be darker on the right side. The sun in this particular painting is coming from this way if we're going to have a light source. So I'm just going to go ahead and just dibble dabble a little bit in, let that dry, and then I'll come back with another layer. To get all these different variations, if you go in one time, it's like a pouring. It's real smooth, and so that needs to, okay, because you want it heavier on this side. So I'll go ahead and put a little bit more in here. See, I've already put some in here. It's good if you can learn to just tiptoe around with your brush, because it'll give you a light look. And rabbit rule even on this one, if you have a color up here, bring it on down to the next level. The same color. I may have trouble when I go back to these grapes because, to these blackberries, mixing the same color blackberry. So I may have to adjust it. Okay, pear. That's not dry enough. Let's go now to, you know what, I see something I didn't do. I didn't put yellow.
Strawberry.
I didn't put yellow under there. And you notice there's no green in the reference picture, but I decided I wanted to pull some of this green down here, so I pretended there's some grapes in here. And so when you get down in here, you just have to decide which of these facets. Nobody knows what you're looking at. So, let me put some yellow in here. All that is fill in the blanks. Let that dry. Let's do these pears are pale sap green. Not everybody, y'all mix your own greens. If you want to mix your greens, mix it. These grapes, put a little bit of water. Just pull it around. Leave the light at the top. That's going to be a light one. I may have to go in and strengthen it, but let's see. That's sap green. If you do, just, oops, that's all right. Just drop a little bit in. I don't even care that there's some hard and soft edges. On this crystal, this does not ever need to lose an edge. You know how we want soft and hard and lost edges? Forget it. If you're painting something man-made that's hard like this, you're going to have a hard edge, especially on crystal and silver. I'll let that dry just a little bit, then I'll tap it so that highlight's going to stay up there. You can have lost and found edges in these blueberries and in these berries and in here, but on these crystal facets, that's where we want it to be really, really hard. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. That's clean water, and it's just pulled over. And I'll just tap that. And the next one, I think I'll do, that's a strawberry, isn't it? I think I'll do this one. Oops, that's all right. When you get it real dark, know that you can just pull it around with clean water. This water's still clean for a little while. When I put the green in the strawberries, it'll help it too. This one's darker, so I'll go ahead and darken him. I'm going to start to do this as fast as we can so we can paint, because yeah, that's sap green. That's my sap, and that's the sap deep. Those two are the greens I use, and sometimes I put yellow in it if I want it more yellow. That's too heavy there, so I'll put that there. If I were painting in the studio, I probably would not paint next to each other. I would go here, and I would go here, and here, and here. But there's so much busyness in here, if I mess one of these up, it's not going to be really that noticeable. So I soften that. I soften that with clear water. See those edges that were there? I let them sit up just a little while. And then, okay. When we pull our background in here too, it's going to cover up this line. Is that a blueberry? Yeah, that's a blueberry. Let's get that blueberry done. Midnight blue, ultramarine blue. So I will come up here with a dark hit. I'm going to make him fat. Come up here with a dark hit, clean my brush. The clean water is just, because that's going to be a green stem right there. That is a green stem to this strawberry. That's done. That's a strawberry. I didn't get him done. Y'all didn't tell me. This one's a strawberry. And just sort of smush him around. I don't know. I hope I don't get by that green. I usually draw with plenty of room to play with in the borders, because cropping is your friend sometimes. So this part right here really isn't even in the original. And I'm just, okay, that's done. All right. We're going to go over here to him now. But in the studio, I did this slower, so I could really pay attention to what I was doing. See how much nicer, and this has a yellow glow to it. I'm not going to go back with the gamboge on top of it. I may come back with a little bit more green, but when I put the dark on these greens, this may brighten this up. So that's not dark. Okay. Here is the pear. Sap green, a little bit of the dark sap green. So I know I want some yellows left, so I'm going to put me a little hit here. I waste a lot of paint because I mop it around and just start mopping. And I'm gonna have this wet. So I'll come back in my paint, and when that's wet, that's gonna do some funny things, whatever it wants to do. But you just keep mopping. See how that just tippy tap in there? You're gonna leave this yellow showing. And I'm just using the side of my brush. This is an 8. I've got some up here, so I'm just gonna dab that out, because I'm gonna go back in here with some stronger. Oops, that's not strong enough. I like to wet the wells, and rather than mix here, just stick the brush into the paint and put it down somewhere, because that was wet, because I already put some water in it. Ooh, I thought I slung water somewhere. Okay, and just sort of blop it around, just move it around. I can kill any hard edge I want with clean water. Which is right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and, did I get you? Okay, I need to soften that edge right there. So, clean water. We'll see what that does. I'll let this dry, because this is going to be dark in here. This is going to be, I'll put a little bit more up there. This is going to be a little bit of a different color. When you dab paint in, rather than painting it on wet surfaces, it just sucks the water in. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything to it. And when you're not blending, see how nice that is, that transition right there? I didn't do that. That was sort of wet, and so when I put the green in, it pulled it that way. But I don't want that line there, so I'm gonna take that out. This is another reason too, and it makes some people crazy, that I don't tape, because I like to move my paper around. Okay, that's some texture, but it's not as deep as I want. But I've got this light undercoat. So when I come back in here, the round motions that we had on the berries will do the same thing, and it'll just make some texture, and I need to deepen that. This is going to be a shadow in here, but when I come back and do this more berry, well then we'll take care of him. Is that any green? Is that green?
Yeah,
Oh,
mine, that's why I went and looked at mine. It's
You
Your
know she
rabbit.
catches me every time.
Sure.
That's okay. Oh, but that's yellow. Let's see, we'll do that.
Up here. Here.
Okay, that's the pinky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put some in there too. Let me see this. You can't make a mistake in it. When you have this much going on, unless somebody is really looking at what you're doing, yeah, they don't know. All right, that should be pink. That's a blueberry. Let me see that, Judy. Okay, that's good. Let me put some pink down in there. That was permanent rose. I'm going to go ahead and do a little texture up in there. I need to be careful of this rim right here, but I wasn't, so go ahead and put a little bit of darker in here. Just tiptoeing around. You know that tap, tap, tap we did before? Because fruit is not perfect, and you don't want it to look like it's perfect, so.
Yes, it is. It is genetically modified.
Okay, while we're still up here, let's go back on the strawberries. Get all that out of the way. I'll do the dark greens. Okay, this is the sap, a little bit of the sap deep, and I'll just put a little bit of cobalt in with it. See what happens. Okay, let's go here first. Again, you can't read this as a leaf particularly, so just put a little bit of dark in, clean your brush, dry it, That looks like there was some phthalo in there. Just do some shapes and let the water take care of it. Just shapes. That looks like nothing, but you know that's a leaf because that's a strawberry. So we'll go here again and there again. I think that is what I want right there. These are just sort of hit and miss. We'll make that dark. We'll make this dark. I think that's like a shadow green, but not everybody has that. See how I'm just sort of poking in holes? But when it's moist, you can do that without having to mix on your palette. Okay, that's enough of that right there. So we'll come in here and sort of let some of that bleed around. I'll put some water in there. Just touch it. That'll do. Okay, there's something else over here. And there's something there. And the faster you get in and get out, the better off you are. The cleaner your colors will be. Okay. I could mix, the greens are just beautiful mix, and you can use, what is it, the Antwerp and Gamboge is gorgeous for the green. What do you like, Bevy?
I sap and then I mix gamboge with one of the blues and
It's pretty stuff, you know, you do. All right, now that this is drying, that's not dark enough. I don't have the 3 values. I like to work in 3 and 5 values. That's not dark enough. So I'll go back here to this sap deep and just put a hit here and there, and that sort of changes the direction of the leaves, although you don't know what direction those leaves are. That right there was phthalo, and I don't know where that came from. I bet that was that right there. Oh well, we'll fix it. Oh, there's a grape.
I'll pick it up.
I'm trying to get that done so we can.
Isn't that a grape?
This is a grape and that's a grape.
Yeah, okay.